Sunday, December 27, 2015, we're interviewing Robert Dale Davis I at his home. Mr. Davis is 63 years old, having been born on January 2nd, 1952.
My name is Aubrey Dixon.
And I'm Ashton Davis, and we'll be the interviewers. Robert Dale Davis is my grandpa. He's my father's dad. Grandpa, could you first state, for the recording, what war and branch you served in?
I was in the United States Army. I served in the Vietnam War.
And what was your rank?
I was a specialist fifth class, E5 NCO.
And where did you serve?
I served in Fort Polk, Louisiana, and the Republic of South Vietnam.
Did you make friends while you were serving?
Yes. Yes. I had a clique of about 7 or 8 that were really good friends, and we rotated in and out. As someone rotated out of Vietnam, someone else would rotate in, and you run in groups of 5 or 6, and though you know everybody in your company, you got 5 or 6 people that are your true friends, probably the same as high school.
What effect did the war have on your physical and mental health?
None.
None?
I was just a kid. I was 18 years old in Vietnam. I was just a kid.
Did you think it was right for America to be in the war?
I don't want to be smart, Ashton, or sound anything that way, but it was way above my pay grade, and I know you guys heard this. I'm a true American, and to me, when the president says, "Hey, that's where you go," that's where you go. I mean, that's just the way it is. I didn't like the protesters. I thought they were wrong. I came in, when I ETS'd and came home in the San Francisco airport, I had little girls and boys spit at me and call me names. And I never understood that. To this day, I don't understand it. I don't get it.
What did you think about the enemy?
I'm not going to say that I hated them, because I didn't know them. I didn't like them, and maybe like a high school kid, because that's basically what we were. Maybe like a high school kid, we thought we hated them and called them names. I'm not going to tell you the names we called them. I don't think that'd be appropriate. But we called them names and stuff, and it made me feel better.
Earlier you said that you didn't agree with the protesters. Could you elaborate on how you felt about the anti-war protests?
I couldn't understand what they were protesting about. Ashton, my dad's a veteran, my brother's a veteran, my uncle, his name's Robert Dale Harris. I was named after him, so I couldn't understand the protest. This is your country. I mean, and I have always felt like this is your country. Like it or not, support the president. Now, we've got a president now that people are throwing rocks at and talking about. To me, he's my president. I may not be in love with the president, but I'm going to support his office. I support the office of the President of the United States, and I think everyone in this country should. So, how did the war change my life? As far as I know, it didn't change my life in the least. I went over in 1970, came out in 1971. I was over there for a year. It seemed like 10 years while I was over there, but when I look back on it, I wouldn't have it any other way. I felt like that all soldiers should go over there. I was stateside, and I had 18 months left in the Army, and I volunteered to go to Vietnam because I was going to get out of the Army 5 months early when I came back. So I really wanted out of the Army. I was a good super trooper. I had good rank. I done good work, but I wanted out of the Army. It wasn't for me. It's for some people, but it wasn't for me. But I was a good soldier. So.
Did you keep your job or continue other wartime?
When I came, I went over Ashton. I was working for the city of Richardson in the Parks Department because I was only 16 when I went to work for the city of Richardson Parks Department, and I turned 17, and my wife was pregnant, and at the time we didn't have a lot of money, and I needed a way for my baby was Denise to be born, and if I knew if I went in the Army, it'd be paid for. I had a friend that worked with me, he's a year older than me, and he more or less taught me in going in on the buddy system, and that's what I did. I went in on the buddy system, and when I came back, I was too old for the parks department. If you know, it's like I was too old to go back to work for a grocery store as a bag boy. I was too old to go back to work as the
Parks.
parks department.
Is there one thought about your wartime experience that you'd like to share with future generations?
It was a time of a great experience. Sometimes people don't understand that I have a dollar bill that everybody else has that you tear up, and I've got names on it and other names on it. Cindy sometimes don't get it, or someone who hasn't been there, that I don't want to go back and visit with my friends that were over there, because these were great friends for a year. We were 18 to 21, 22 years old. I would hate to go back and look these friends up, and for one to be a bank robber or a murderer or, you know, a child herder. I don't want to say the other word, but a child herder. I would hate that. It would darken my view of when I was over there. So I don't want to go back and visit the friends or anything. I want to remember them for what they are.
During a time in the service, do you remember a time when you were scared?
When I first arrived in Vietnam, I was in transportation, and I had been there about a week. I didn't know much about it, and my truck broke down, and they just left me. You know, they just left me, and I didn't know what was going on. And it got dark, and when it got dark, I was close to a village, and the village at night came on. They had fires going, and I was a little scared because I didn't know what was going on. I'd only been in the country 7 or 8 days. I was scared, but not that scared. Ashton, I don't know how to explain this to young people. When you're my age, I was 18. I'm 10 foot tall and bulletproof. It's not going to be me. It may be somebody else. It's not going to be me. Nobody over there feared that they were really going to die. But it was, I'm not going to say it was just scared because I was in a different place and I didn't know what might happen. It took about 2 hours for a wrecker to come out there and pick me up. The wrecker and a couple of Jeeps and MPs came out and got me and carried me back in. And that was the last time that I really had any fear. I mean, it's just, I don't think people are really scared. We're too young to be. I mean, we're just too young to be. Like right now, Ashton, I bet you're not scared a bit about going home. You don't think nothing about getting hit and killed in an accident. Or neither do you, Aubrey. I bet you never think about that. Same way over there, you never think about that. You're just doing your job.
Now we're going to move on to my grandma. Her name is Cindy Davis. If your spouse was in the service, did you feel good about the support you got from the service?
Yeah, because we had to do stuff with Denise, yeah. They helped us with her, did her eye surgery and they were there for us, so, yeah. I didn't like the way they treated the soldiers when they came back, but as far as the military itself, yeah, they supported us okay.
Did you worry a lot while your husband was away?
All the time,
Every day? You told me that y'all wrote letters.
every day. And sometimes I might not get one, but then all of a sudden I get 4 or 5 at once, you know. And then I got one that was in a different handwriting, and it terrified me. But he had broken his hand and couldn't write. Finally, one of his friends said, "You need to let her know you're okay," so he wrote it for me. So I appreciated that from his buddies.
How did you feel about war news from television?
You know, there wasn't a lot of war news on TV when he was in Vietnam. It just wasn't like it is today.
Did you change your views over the span of the war?
You know, I was so young, and I didn't understand the people wanting to run away and not go in the army or the military, you know. I mean, you're supposed to do that, and they didn't, and, it bothered me.
Did you keep your job after the war and continue other work-on activities?
He was in Vietnam, my job was staying home and having a baby, so I had to just go out and find a new job when he got home.